If you're in the market for a GMRS radio for overlanding, then GME has a lot of different options to choose from, including two specific packages, a 4x4 package and an Outback package. With a combination of their radio units and their antennas, there's probably a good fit for whatever type of vehicle you're driving out there. So before you buy, let me give you some of the rundown. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Talon and I make new videos every single week. So if you like what you see, consider clicking subscribe. Today, of course, we're talking all about GMRS radios, and I'm going to preface this by saying I am no expert in this field. However, I've been using a wide variety of GMRS radios for a long time now. There is so much cool technology packed into these specific units, so I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details. If you want any more information, I'll leave some links down below. But I'm gonna give you guys sort of a broad overview and answer a lot of the questions that you guys have already asked me about specifically running GME USA radios. So for starters, who is GME and what do they do? GME is an Australian company with a really strong presence in the off-road world. They've been making radio technology for a very long time, but just recently, in the past couple of years, they've brought their radios to the US market. These radios are designed around the overlanding and four-wheel drive market, and unlike many GMRS systems, GME specifically focuses on overlanding, making installs very easy, and the most important thing, their antenna technology. I've been running one of their radios on this truck here for about 2 years, my smaller kind of really overlandy truck, and then the truck that I live out of right here. This vehicle is fairly new to me, but of course, since I'm in it pretty much all the time, I wanted to have some good communications in that vehicle as well. Now, for a little bit of the nerdy stuff, some things that you guys probably already know, there are FRS radios, which are very common, like super cheap walkie-talkies that you buy at any big box store. And then you have GMRS radios, which are generally higher powered. They allow for things like external antennas, which you see on both of the trucks behind me. FRS and the channels that they are allowed to use based off of FCC regulations is generally 2 watts. Anyone can use them. If you're talking specifically about GMRS radios, a fixed unit like this or a handheld radio, technically speaking, you are supposed to have a license. I am licensed. I believe it was about 35 bucks. There's no test or anything like a ham license. You just fill it out online. It's good for up to 10 years and it works for immediate family too. Now, when it comes to GME radio specifically, the install on both of these guys, pretty straightforward. You have the actual brain of the unit, a power cable, an antenna coax cable, and then all of the mounting hardware that you may need. So for the Tacoma, I mounted the brains of the unit down by my left foot on the kind of kickwell area. I ran the power cable up to the front to connect to a bus bar because this truck is hybrid and the battery system actually lives under the rear seat. And then for the antenna cable, I ran that out through the firewall and then up across the windshield where I have some wiring for the light on top of my truck. And then I got a little bit creative. I wanted to make a specific mount, so I custom made a bracket, and then I also included GME's fold down antenna system because I wanted to keep this thing a little bit inconspicuous when I wasn't actually using it, so I can flip that thing down and maybe in some cases fit into parking garages. But this truck is obviously very tall. It's a Tacoma and it's running the same size tires as my F350 over here. And then for my F350, this is a Ross Monster Baja Trail setup, pretty much the same. I ran the brain of the units on this one down to the right side of my leg. I just used some VHB tape and stuck it to the side of my center console. Pulled power and the antenna cable through the firewall, connected power to the battery, and then I simply ran the coax cable kind of through the front bumper there where I have some other wiring for lights. And then I just simply drilled a hole right on the passenger side of my bumper, mounted that thing hard mounted direct to the bumper. And I think it's a pretty cool look. A lot of people are going to have differing opinions on that, but it kind of brings that Australian vibe to some US trucks. Now for the brain portion of these radios, there are 3 different options to choose from, and they're really tailored towards different applications. They're all 5-watt radios, and immediately when I tell people that these are 5-watt radios, they kind of take a step back and they're like, whoa, that is definitely not enough. And that's where a lot of people are often mistaken. It doesn't matter if you have a 50-watt GMRS radio, if you don't have the antenna to back it up, you're probably going to have connection issues, you're going to have interference with other people around the area that are on differing channels. So although they are only 5-watt units, they still pack a huge punch, and I have had no issues with them at all. There's actually a ton of features in here that really made me gravitate towards GME, and we're going to talk about those in a second. So for all three of these kind of form factors that you can put in different vehicles, you're going to have 15 GMRS channels, 1 through 7 of course, and then 15 to 22, they are compatible with FRS radios too, so if some of your friends that you're out on the trail with have just a cheap walkie-talkie, you can still communicate with them. You can also reach 8 repeater channels with this, which is one of the really cool things that some GMRS radios that I've used in the past did not give me the functionalities for. Of course, all of the mic units with the screens on them, they do have speakers built in, but then some units have them built into the actual brains of the unit themselves. You have a Bluetooth connection, you have a smartphone control, and the smartphone control isn't something I use every single day. I simply set it up once I install the radios in the truck. You can control a lot of the functions of this radio, set up different XRS custom controls and things like that, but you can also update the firmware for the brains of these units through the smartphone connection too, so pretty cool feature there. You have that nice super bright OLED display built into the microphone of all of these units, and then for the customizable controls you have a programmable button on the top and then the XRS button on the front. The XRS controls are something that I have not found in any other GMRS radio, and the first thing when people ask me, why do you run GME? It's for these XRS controls right here. The first thing is an active mute function. So when I hop into either of these trucks, my phone automatically connects to this via Bluetooth, and both of these trucks have CarPlay. So I mount my phone, take off on a trail, I'm driving around or whatever, and maybe I'm talking to some friends while we're out there exploring around. Everyone's chatting back and forth, but then I get a phone call and maybe I need to take that phone call. I have my radio set up so that when a phone call comes through via Bluetooth, the radio senses that, and then you can set it to either completely mute or just turn down the volume of your actual GMRS radio. I can't tell you how many times I've been using other radios and I get a phone call and I'm on the Bluetooth system of the vehicle and people are yapping in the background and I'm like, sorry, I have to turn down the radio or turn it off completely. With the smartphone connect and the Bluetooth connection, this thing will talk to your phone and it will basically do all of that kind of audio adjustments and everything for you so you don't have any interrupted communication. Now the next XRS feature is maybe you hang up the phone call and people were talking the whole time. You have to pick up the radio and go, yo, sorry, I was on the phone. What did you just say? Instead of doing that, which you do time and time again, I programmed the top button here to have a voice playback feature. All I have to do is tap that button and it will replay recent transmissions to my radio so I can catch up on the conversation over the GMRS radio that I completely missed while I was on a normal cell phone call. Now this is not only great for when you do get a phone call, but it's great for when you're cruising around and your music's all the way up, you have your windows down and you simply miss a communication. Instead of going, what? Didn't hear you, my music was loud, my windows were down. All you have to do is tap on that button and it will replay so you can hear the communication that you missed. And then the third XRS feature that I really like, however, it doesn't work with all GMRS radios. If your buddies all have GME radios, there is a crew talk function. This kind of works as like a privacy code. It keeps all of your friends in communication on the same channel. However, if you find interference, maybe you're driving through a town and there's other people talking on radios, it will actually move your whole crew to a new channel with no interference, and it just makes things a little bit more private. It makes communication a whole lot better, and again, you don't have to fiddle around with your radio while you're driving off-road because you should really be paying attention to the road or the trail that you're on. So for the 3 different brain units that you can actually choose from, you have an XRS 390, an XRS 370, and an XRS 330. The 2 that I'm running in these trucks is the 370 in the Tacoma and the 330 in my Ford. The only one that I have not used is the XRS 390, and the difference between all of these units, again, is what vehicle they're going in. So the 390 has an IP67 rating, and this is going to be good for side-by-sides, buggies, and things that are basically dedicated for off-road. Maybe you have an open air cabin and you have water and dirt coming in all the time. You're probably going to want to have that IP rating on there to keep the radio functioning the way that it should. Now moving into the 370 and the 330, essentially the brains of the unit changes in size a little bit. On the 370 specifically, this one is a metal construction and it does have a speaker built into the brains of the unit itself, as well as the microphone. So you have a little bit of redundancy there. This is going to be good in a vehicle that may be a little bit louder. I'm really only using this when I'm driving off-road, as opposed to this truck that I am living in full-time, spending a lot more time doing long road trips with this vehicle. So I wanted to have kind of the the best of the best overland setup in this truck, and this one is a little bit more subdued. So in the Tacoma, I have the speaker on the unit itself down by my foot, and then I have the communication speaker coming out of the microphone as well. The brains of the 370 is a little bit larger because of that speaker, and it is metal. And then moving into the 330 that I have in my Ford, this is a much smaller compact unit. So if you are someone who is not overlanding all of the time, maybe you have an overland vehicle that you drive to an office every day, daily driver, space is limited inside of the vehicle, which it's actually not in this thing at all. I probably could have put the biggest unit in this possible. However, the 330 is much smaller. There is no speaker built into the actual brains of the unit, so the only speaker is going to be out of the microphone. But because I actually mount both of these units in the Tacoma and the Ford right on my dash, I rarely ever miss communications because the speaker is facing right at me. It's really easy to grab. I don't even have to take my eyes off the road. And if you do miss a communication because your volume wasn't up loud enough or it was just loud in the vehicle, again, you can use that playback feature and hear what you missed. So again, all of these units, the 330 up to the 390, are all pretty much the same internally. They are 5-watt radios, which originally turns people off, but the most important part is the antennas. So I have heavy-duty antennas on both the Tacoma and on my Ross Monster, and this is really where the magic happens. There are actually more antenna options than there are actual radio options when it comes to GME, and this is where people get a little bit confused. So I'm gonna try to lay this out as simply as possible. Most people are going to opt for either a heavy duty or a medium duty version antenna. The performance is going to be the same as long as the gain is the same on the antennas. The difference really comes down to how rugged the antenna assembly actually is. So heavy duty is going to be built for hardcore wheeling, rough trails, which I take both of these trucks on, so that's why I opted for the heavy duty versions on here. However, if you go for a medium duty, this is going to be better for someone who wants something a little bit more lightweight, something that is aimed for someone who is using their vehicle as a daily driver, maybe overlanding occasionally on the weekend, but you don't need the absolute best of the best. You just want to have good, solid communications, and it doesn't matter if it's super heavy duty or not. So when it comes to the heavy duty antennas, a question that people always ask me is like, wow, why is that thing so big? One, it's heavy duty. It has the heavy duty spring base on there. So if this thing is getting beat around by branches, low hanging fruit, whatever it may be out on the trail, the antenna is going to slap back up into place and you're not going to have to worry about breaking that thing off. These antennas are also thicker because instead of a coil wound assembly, they're actually using PCBs inside of here, which again is going to be a lot more rugged compared to a wound coil assembly. You're probably going to have a little bit more interference and inconsistencies in your transmissions and receiving transmissions with a wound coil compared to a PCB. So these are simply heavier duty, a little bit higher quality, and I didn't want to skimp on communications in these vehicles because this is something that I actually rely on when I'm out traveling around. So when it comes to the different antennas, I have the shorter version on my Tacoma and the longer version on my Ross Monster. The difference between the lengths on these antennas is really going to give you a different radio pattern. So they're actually going to be good for different things depending on your vehicle setup and what you're doing with it. The shorter antenna is a 2.1 dBi antenna, and this is going to be good for generally rougher trails, but it's really if you're going up and down in elevation. This is going to give you sort of a different pattern, which allows you to reach people who are above you or below you on trails, whether you're traveling through forests, through canyons, up and down some rocky mountains. The pattern on this antenna is going to allow you to reach people in more valleyous locations, whereas the larger antenna here is going to give you a really long straight shot communication, basically line of sight. In perfect conditions, you can reach out with an antenna like this to about 20 miles. I haven't tested it fully yet, but I have been on road trips with friends who are using other GMRS radios, and I've been able to reach out to at least 10 miles, and that's generally traveling through flat desert areas. The longer version of this heavy duty antenna is 6.6 dBi, and I chose that antenna for this truck because both of them I do take off-road in mountainous and valley areas, but again, I'm mainly using this truck for long road trips. I'm in a caravan with maybe some other large trucks, Sprinter vans, whoever it may be. So oftentimes we get really spread out over longer distances. So that's why I chose the longer antenna on this truck. And honestly, it just fits it better. I think it looks really good on there. The Tacoma, I'm often in canyons, up and down valleys, maybe crisscrossing some switchbacks, and people are way higher or way lower than I am. So that's going to give me better communications for a vehicle that I use in situations like that. Now, another really cool option that GME offers with their antennas is that they are completely replaceable. There's a little set screw in the bottom of the spring base on the heavy duty versions. So if I loosen up that screw, I can actually unscrew the entire PCB antenna and replace it with something different. So maybe I'm taking the Tacoma out on a desert trip and I'm gonna be really spread apart from the rest of my group. I can take the antenna from this truck and swap it to over here, and I can take the shorter antenna and put it over here on my Ford if I'm taking this thing up into some mountains or some valleys where I want to have a little bit different connection. If I want to have stronger communications in hills and valleys, then I'll probably put a shorter antenna on this truck. I haven't run into any issue where either of these have been limiting me, but it is cool that it is an option to completely swap them out for both heavy duty and medium duty antennas. Now, I know this has already been a lot of information, but GME makes it a little bit easier by offering two different packs like I talked about, the 4x4 pack and the Outback pack. The 4x4 pack is going to basically be this exact setup that I have here on my Tacoma. It's the XRS 370 radio with the 2.1 dBi short antenna on here with the heavy duty spring base. And again, this is going to be good for high clearance 4x4 vehicles that you're taking in some really mountainous or canyonous areas. I'm talking Jeeps, 4Runners, Grenadiers, Land Cruisers, whatever it may be. If you have a dedicated overland rig, then this might be the best package option for you. It comes with the brains of the unit, it comes with the antenna. You simply install everything, which takes about maybe an hour. The hardest thing is actually fishing the wires through your firewall. And then after that, you're all set up and ready to go. You can swap out the antennas if you need to. And with the 370, again, you have the speaker in the microphone unit and you have a redundancy down by wherever you mount the actual brains of the unit. So if you want to have a ton of volume and you're using a radio setup in an overland vehicle, then the 4x4 pack is probably going to be the option for you. And then you have the Outback pack, which is essentially the same thing, but with a different antenna and different brains. So the Outback pack is going to be using the radio that I have in this truck, which is the 330, XRS 330, which is a smaller unit, no extra speaker on there. And instead of the heavy duty antenna on here, essentially you're going to be getting a medium duty 2.1 dBi antenna. So this pack is going to be good for people who maybe only overland occasionally. You're a weekend warrior, you want to get out there and still have good communication. This is going to be a smaller unit with a speaker only in the microphone handheld unit. You're going to get a lighter weight, maybe slightly easier to install application. It's a little more stealthy because you don't have a giant antenna hanging off of it. But again, if you decide that you want to overland a lot more and you want to have some longer distances or some better communication with a stronger heavy duty mount, again, you can completely swap the antennas. So that's essentially what I did here. I took the 6.6 dBi antenna, huge whip out the front, PCB on the inside there instead of the wound coil, and I'm running that into the 330. And both of these setups have been working perfectly for me, but it's cool that in the future, if I want to change these setups, it is very straightforward. It's using the same power sources, it's using the same antenna cables. I can swap the brains just as easily as I can swap the antennas. So I believe that has laid out all the information, and now you guys can choose what is going to be best for your vehicle and how you like to use it. So that's all that I had for this kind of nerdy talk about GMRS radios. If you guys have any more questions, you can let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to answer anything as best as possible. And if you see me out on the trails and I'm by myself, all you have to do is hit that scan button. That's typically what I do, and that's a good way to communicate with whoever's around you if you just want to chat, say what's up, and also stay safe at the same time. So that's all for today. If you guys are new to this channel and you learned something new, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and considered clicking subscribe. I make new videos every single week. As always, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.